Hey friends, welcome back to the channel. Today this one's gonna be hard again, but I want to um, I want to get this out specifically for me because I know that it's this one's gonna hit home with me really big because I've been facing it all day. I've been in tears, and it's really big for me today. Um, I say that a lot about my other videos, but it's just ever since I've been doing this consistent 30-day challenge, it's like I'm facing my greatest weaknesses. I'm facing my greatest challenges, and I'm coming straight on face to face with them, and I can't back down because they're right in front of me, and I'm tired of suppressing them. And so I am prepared. I have my box of tissue. I have my Bible, and I have Snoopy for moral support. So I'm going to grab my tissue right now because I don't know what's going to come out of my mouth. I just kind of wrote one scripture down, and that's going to be 2 Corinthians chapter 12, verse 9. And I put some pointers that I want to make sure that I hit because I think other people need to see it, they need to hear it, and they need to know that it's real. I named this title "Rejection is Real and It's Painful," and yeah, I'm a little nervous about this one because of what I've been dealing with today. I didn't know how I was going to start this. I really didn't. I guess I'll take you back just a little bit. If you've been following my channel, in the very beginnings of my channel, or in the middle, not sure exactly when, but I have talked about this before, of my childhood, of how I grew up and stuff like that. I love my dad, but my dad wasn't around a lot. And his presence was there as far as to give us food on the table, a roof over our head, clothes on our back, but he wasn't there to give us love and, just, feel it coming. I feel it coming. Support. He just wasn't there. He thought that, how a little girl, my best friend, her husband, he loves this little girl so much, and I see how much he just captures her. Oh, it's gonna come out. Jesus, help me. He captures her in his arms, and she does no wrong in his eyes. And I just love looking at them because how much I desired my dad to do that with me. And probably it probably wasn't given to him, but the fact of the matter is that my dad wasn't like that at all. And I thought, oh man, how much I desire that. And I only have one image of my father. Well, one image that's very, very clear in my head, unfortunately. And that image is him getting ready to go out with his friends. And I'm probably around, I don't know, maybe 5, 6 years old. And I remember, he would even give us toys too. We would get toys from him. We were his little girls, but he would give us things, all these precious things. But the one thing that I wanted was his presence. And a little girl will find her identity. She's looking for her identity. It's so important. Little girls with their dads, it's so important. They they look up to their dads. I don't know the science behind it, but anyways, I had this image of about, I guess maybe 6, 7, I don't know, but I have this image. He's getting ready and he's getting ready to be with his friends. It's Friday night and he is leaving. He's leaving to go out, and I had this image of him getting ready, and right before he's about to leave, I get on my knees and I said, Daddy, will you spend time with us? And he doesn't. He says, no, just stay here. Just stay here with your mom. I'll be back later. And oh God, the rejection was huge. It was huge. And you might be asking, why am I going on live? Because you know what? Some people need to see it. Some people do need to understand that rejection is a very big thing, and the things that how we cover it up, so that way we don't have to deal with it. And there's so much I want to say, friends. So I'm going to tell you right now, this one's going to be another long one. So it's okay if you need to just pick up where it left off tomorrow and then just see it tomorrow. It's okay. But I got to make this message because this is huge for me. And I don't care if people make fun of me. It's fine. People need to see how raw this channel is. But anyways, I have that image, and it stayed in my head. And to this very day, my dad doesn't understand why we don't really need him in that way for moral support or anything, because we grew up without him, and my mom was mom and dad to us. And Mom, if you're watching this, I love you. And thank you for being there for us as much as you possibly could. You're my hero. And so it was just hard. It was really hard. And I'm 42, I think. And I'm ready to deal with this shit. Because it did some shit to my marriage. So my dad did what he did. I forgave him, but I have not forgotten what happened. So I'm stating the facts of what happened. So growing up, because we didn't have the father figure, I started dating. How I dealt with it. I started to get very promiscuous, and started going out with guys and didn't really care how they used me. And because I wanted somebody to tell me, who am I? What is my purpose? I didn't have a relationship with the father at all. I knew religion, but that's it. I knew a bunch of rules and what to do. I was kind of used to that because that's all I got from my own father was a bunch of rules. That's it. So I grew up with that. As long as I went to church, I could check it off my list because I was used to rules. So I kind of understand all that. But anyhow, I just I became very promiscuous, and like I said, and I started dating guys, and all the while just hoping that somebody would tell me who I am. Just like a little puppy. Please tell me who I am. What is my purpose? Why am I here? Tell me I'm beautiful. Tell me that I'm good at something. Tell me my strengths. Tell me what are my good qualities. Just tell me, please tell me. Don't leave me. What do I got to do to keep you around? Don't leave me. And ugh, this is hard. This is really hard. But so what I started doing was I started either if I wasn't in a relationship, um, I was about to be, so I would rebound all the time, and or I would start overeating. I would either go shopping a lot and spend my paycheck. Um, I would I I started doing the club scene, and I did a little bit of drinking. I did crazy stuff just to get the guy to like me. Um, Jumping in cold water with like crazy stuff, friends. Like I was dared to jump into water with no clothes on, and it was the winter. And to get the guy to like me, I did it. I mean, some crazy shit I did just to get the guy to like me. So when I went to Dallas, it became worse because I had more access to the scenes, the bars, and nightlife, and more stuff to suppress the real weakness of mine, the real problem, which was rejection and being all the while a little girl just wanting to be loved, just wanting to be loved and held, and tell me how much I'm important. And I was just putting piles after piles after piles after piles of stuff, and never dealing with the root of it all, the where the pain really lied. And I remember dating this guy. Just kind of fast forward, I remember dating this guy, and this was the guy before I met my husband. And he was I always looked for the bad guys, like the guys that drove motorcycles, and like just like these jocks, or just a bad boy. I don't know what it was. I really don't know the science or the psychology on it. But I always tended to look for the guys that were just badasses, I guess you want to say. And or I would go for musicians too. It was weird. I had a thing for drummers. Anyways, so I ended up going to I started dating this guy. It was really bad news for me. He was a Christian, but just very wild and stuff like that. And I had like my to-do list, like, okay, you have to go to church and stuff like that. But then I started to, just to get him to like me, I started doing some crazy shit with him, and started drinking more, and doing the party thing with him. And it just, and one night I got drunk with him, and this was when my husband came into my life. But we were just we were really good friends. We were best friends, actually. um, and I remember him coming down to Dallas, and I was dating this guy, and this guy would just basically just use me, and then just kind of just throw me away, I guess you want to say. Just and I remember it was like 2 o'clock in the morning, and I had to drive back. He lived in South Dallas, and if you know anything about the Dallas area, it's a very long drive. Well, it's about a 20-30 minute drive from South Dallas to North Dallas, and I lived over there right by the Galleria, and it was North Dallas, so I had to drive on the big freeways in the middle of the night, and it was like 2 o'clock in the morning, and I remember, he just kind of, we got drunk, and one thing led to another, and I ended up alone. And all the while I'm thinking, I'm like, what the hell? I've given you everything of me, and you still don't want me. And I remember him saying, like, hey, there's this guy that's coming from Oklahoma, and he's coming all this way. What the hell are you doing with me? And I'm thinking, I'm like, you know what? You're right. You're right. You're absolutely right. I don't, you're right. And I just got in my car and I left, and I was swerving and crying and thinking at the same time. I'm like, I don't gotta deal with this shit, you know. I don't gotta deal with this. And all the while, I'm still not dealing with the pain. I'm still not, the effing pain was still there. But I didn't recognize it. I didn't recognize it. I just knew religion. I didn't know that there's roots and there's things that need to be dealt with, but my form of dealing with it was either overeating, shopping, clubbing, having sex, rebounding, just those were all of my forms of of suppressing it. And I met, when I got to my apartment, my husband was there, and we were best friends, so I told him everything, and I remember him telling me, you deserve better. And I gave my heart to him, and I fell in love with his heart. But all the while I was still dealing with that root. So what did I do? I got with him instead of dealing with that root, and we started having problems because I never dealt with it. And I just continued suppressing it. And if you, not a lot of people know this about my ex-husband, but he's a drummer. He was a churchgoer, and he had a ministry. And I was like, okay, well, maybe I'll be under his wing. You know what I mean? Maybe that's my purpose in life, is to be his wife and support him and do this, and not even knowing that I had a ministry of my own. But at the same time, I'm still with that problem. I still have that problem. So I'm finding my identity in my ex-husband. And at the same time, he doesn't know how to deal with me, because he just doesn't. And the shit gets real in our marriage, and we start having a lot of fights. And all the while, I have no idea where it's coming from. No idea where it's coming from. I just know that there's something there, but I can't pinpoint exactly where it is. And when you don't know where it starts, you can't deal with it properly. So fast forward, I noticed that I started to, I call it a puppy dog syndrome for myself. This is going to be so embarrassing, but whatever, man. Somebody might be dealing with this, and I'm willing to just lay it out because somebody might deal with it. A puppy dog syndrome for myself was always pursuing the guy. I didn't allow my husband to pursue me so much. I never understood that it's a man who finds a wife and therefore finds favor with God. I was the one who was, and that might not be a big deal for some, because we're in the 21st century, but it's a big deal for me. If you want to call me old school, then fine. But the thing is that my father pursues me. Now I have that understanding. My father pursues me. I am a lady. I'm worth being pursued. And my father pursued me. So now I used to feel like it was a bad thing, to think that way, that a guy should pursue me. But now I don't. I don't think that way. I think that women are so beautiful and they're so worthy that they should be pursued by men, because, there's so many reasons. Men are hunters. That's a whole different video. But anyways, I pursued my husband a lot. And, he would pay for the restaurants, and, he was great. He was a great boyfriend and a great husband. But I started pursuing him when we were boyfriend and girlfriend. And he paid for everything, like I said, but when we would get into arguments, there I am calling his ass. It's funny. But I'm calling him and like telling him, don't leave me. And then when I wouldn't call him because I was so angry with him, he would call me. And then we would just kind of bounce off each other. And there was a lot of love there, but at the same time, there was an issue. And it still wasn't being dealt with. And we get married, and I find myself still pursuing him by, just different things, always looking making the dates for us, just wanting to spend time with him so much. But the fights were getting to him. I can only assume. I can't say I can't speak for him, but I was always pursuing him. And I hated that about myself. Friends, this is the reason why I'm telling you this, is because I hate that about myself, is that stupid little puppy dog, like, please spend time with me. Like, I even joke about it with my best friend. I'm like, God damn it, why can't I freaking just stop doing that? And I can't help it, even after the divorce, we still were talking, and for months and months and months, we didn't officially stop talking romantically until like November-ish, and late November, and a little bit of shit. No, I'm lying. Like January, a little after January is when we really stopped talking. January of 2024, friends. So we got a divorce in June 2023, all the way to January. Like there's a lot of love there. My husband didn't divorce me because he didn't love me. He divorced me because he couldn't handle me. I brought a lot of shit to the marriage, and I'm the first person to confess that. I brought a lot of shit to the marriage, but I still found myself pursuing him, and the root was still there. The stupid dang thing was still there. And as I was growing in grace and understanding that my father loved me in all of my weaknesses, because friends, rejection is very real, and it's a weakness. And the reason why it's a weakness is because you can't get rid of it on your own. It's very, when you're dealing with rejection, a girl dealing with rejection, or even a guy can even experience rejection. It doesn't matter, either or. whatever sex it is. But with me personally, I found myself just pursuing him and doing this to that way I wouldn't lose him. I didn't want to lose him. And I even went to the extent, oh man, this is gonna, oh God. I even went to the extent of allowing myself to be with him, even though he was with somebody else. God, I can't believe I just said that. But that's how bad I didn't want to lose him, until I was tired and I didn't want to. I couldn't be the other girl anymore. I didn't want to be the other girl anymore. And I started to deal with it, with the pain. And I started to understand that it was actually rejection. I didn't want to be alone. I wanted somebody to tell me who I was. And I wasn't proud of myself. There's a lot of shame there. But I've had to forgive myself in it, to even allow myself to go there, even allow myself to be the other girl. Sorry, friends, it's hard. So I know what it brings. It's shameful. It's very shameful, but it is what it is. All the while, I was still trying to get it out, but until I guess probably about a month ago, it started to, my father gave me this instruction of, like, by receiving in my weakness, receiving his grace. And that's what brings me down to the verse, 2 Corinthians. And I wanted to read it to you guys because it hits home for me. 2 Corinthians chapter 12, verse 9. It says, and he said to me, well, actually, I'll start at verse 7. It says, because the surpassing greatness of the revelation, for this reason, to keep me from exalting myself. This is Paul speaking. He was getting so much revelations over and over again. He says, there was given to me a thorn in the flesh. And a lot of people mistake that and think that it was a sickness. But actually, if you keep on reading, it says right there what that thorn in the flesh was. It was a messenger of Satan, to torment me, to keep me from exalting myself. Okay. So it wasn't sickness or anything like that. Okay, verse 8, it says, concerning this, I implored the Lord 3 times that it might leave me. Okay. I don't know how many times I've asked the Father, take this from me. I don't want this freaking puppy dog syndrome anymore. I don't want to pursue somebody that doesn't want me. I don't want that anymore. Take it from me. Okay, so it says that he implored the Lord 3 times that it might leave me. This was the response of the Father. And he had said to me, my grace is sufficient for you. Okay, for power is perfected in weakness. Friends, you hear what he's saying? When you are weak, that's when his power can actually work the best. Friends, I'm telling you right now, I am not strong right now. I'm telling a lot of shit on the internet and knowing very damn well that some mean person is probably going to take this video and is going to take it to a whole different level and probably make fun of it. But you know what? Whatever, dude. If it helps somebody, then it's worth it. It's worth it. It's fine. Somebody needs to know that they're not alone. And this channel is about hope, and that hope is you're not alone, and there is help. There's help. Father wants to bring that to you. Okay? He wants to bring that to you. He says, most gladly, therefore, this is Paul is saying, most gladly, therefore, I will rather boast about my weaknesses. That's very big, friends, because when you go on a date, you're not going to be talking about your weaknesses. You're going to be talking about your strengths. I mean, let's just get real, okay? We're not talking about, you're not talking about your bad breath in the morning. You're talking about, oh, my hair is so lovely. I'm just joking, but you know what I'm saying? Like we boast about our strengths. We put up our good front in the beginning. We don't talk about our weaknesses, but Paul, him saying right here, I'd rather boast about my weaknesses so that, and he says the reason why, so that the power of Christ may dwell in me. Okay. So because I'm coming to you total mess, I know the Father can use this message to help someone, and at the very same time bring healing to me as well, because this was part of the plan of bringing me this, come face to face with it, because I didn't want to come face to face with something like this. I didn't want to come face to face with something like this. This was too hard. This was too hard to face. But I noticed the triggers. It's part of my testimony. This person that told me that they were going to take my channel down. And I told them that it's not to put them to shame or anything like that, or out of spite. But my testimony actually lies in what I'm actually going through right now. And I'm not trying to bag on them or anything like that, because Lord knows that I'm no better than them. I am definitely no better than them. But this is where my testimony lies. It's in the fact of what I'm going through right now and how I'm dealing with it, you know? And this is, my Father is very much approving me in what I do. So if they misunderstand, and the Father is the only one that can defend my honor. He's the only one that can defend me, because I've tried to let them know that I'm not doing this out of spite. I'm literally doing this because I want to be healed from it. So I'm just going to be very real with you and tell you what I've been experiencing today. So obviously, when a person gets a divorce, they will either find somebody. And my ex-husband found somebody. And this is the man that is that the Father has promised me that he would restore my marriage with. Oh God, this is gonna be hard. And he's confirmed numerous of times And I'm thinking, I'm like, did you not get the clue, Father, that he's with somebody else? And he actually stayed and he chose her instead of me. He chose her instead of me. Did you not get the memo, Father? And all the while, he's sending me dreams, my children's dreams, confirming it everywhere, that this is the man that I called you to be with. He's the one that's going to carry this ministry with you. And I'm thinking, I'm like, oh my God, no way, no freaking way, no. It can't be him. It can't, because he's in somebody else's arms. Somebody gets to be with him at night, and it's not me. And I want to be with him in his arms like I used to. I want to be there with him after work. I want to go on vacations with him like we used to. And it can't be him, Father. And and it turns out it is. And he's rejected it numerous of times, and he's told me that he would never ever be with me again. And he made it very loud and clear that he would never ever be with me because of the shit that I put him through. You know how much I want to run from this. How much I want to just run from somebody rejecting me over and over and over, and how many times I've begged him to please stop looking at my faults and love me the way Father loves me, and to forgive me for what I did. And and I thought I could prove to him that I loved him by staying with him. But even if he was with somebody else, that I would wait for him, and he chose her. And so the rejection has been building every single day. Every single day that I hear that they're laughing together, and they're playing board games, and it's been building. And or that he kisses her when it used to be me. And it got so intense these past couple of weeks, and I thought I could deal with it. For the longest time I was like, oh hell no. I'm gonna go on a date. I'm gonna start dating, and because I'm a pretty girl, so I can go on a date, and it was crazy because this is not to boast. And if you take it that way, you know what? Screw you. I don't care if you take it that way. But after we got our divorce, that very next day, I had a guy ask me out, and he asked for my number and stuff like that. And I'm thinking, like, man, the enemy really does work fast, right? And I couldn't. And the reason why I couldn't is because my Father gave me this vision of that me and my husband would be restored, and that we would build this ministry together, and we would minister together on healing and love, and just completely transform our lives, completely being transformed. So I held on to that. And to this very day, I'm holding on to that. I know I probably look stupid in people's eyes. Like, dude, you're holding on to something. The guy already left you. Get the hell away from him and go on with your life. Friends, I can't tell you enough how many times I've wanted to walk my ass out of this town, get an apartment, work at corporate America again, and get on with my life. I am too goddamn young to be staying around for a guy who's giving his kisses away to some girl. Do you know where my anger is going from? Do you understand a little bit of why I'm a little angry? It's angry at father, angry at the man. The truth is that that freaking stupid weakness of mine is still there. But I didn't realize that my restoration is actually tied into my ministry, because there's people like me. They're just probably hiding, and they're not wanting to, they don't want to come out with it. And I'm here to let them know it's safe to come out. And even though people reject you, it's okay. The Father, He loves you and He wants to restore you, but it's not your job to get it out. And that's my message. The way that I'm dealing with it is by not taking my old methods, by rebounding and going to another guy and getting involved. My children love their dad. They love their dad. And I love him very much, with all his faults. With all his faults. I love him. I'm sorry, friends. It's just a lot. It's a lot, because I didn't know how this freaking video was going to happen, or how it was going to go. But I think people need to see this. I have hope. I have dreams. I have words that have been spoken over my marriage numerous times. And I'm holding on. And I'm going to wait for him. Because he's the love of my life. But at the same time, I want to deal with this shit. And this is how I'm going to deal with it. Is I'm going to continue to receive my Father's love and His forgiveness in this that I can't get rid of it. I can't get rid of this rejection. You know, the way that I'm feeling right now, I can't get rid of it. And the way, like I said, the way that I used to get rid of it was overeating, spending, rebounding, clubbing, drinking, you know, all that. That's how I used to get rid of it. I wouldn't even get rid of it. I would suppress it. Is anybody out there who knows what I'm talking about? Rejection is very, very real, and it's tied up to your identity. But your identity is now in Christ. And I know that there's people that could say, okay, well, Stacey, you know, you just need to read your Bible more and find out your identity in Christ. Yeah, that's really, that sounds good. Really good. The only thing is that it doesn't allow you to be human, to realize that you have the feelings there, and the Father's not asking you to not feel it. I made a video yesterday about your feeling, and He's okay with how you feel, something to that extent, something about feelings. But basically what I'm saying is that the feelings are going to be there. I'm going to feel rejected when I hear that the man that I absolutely love, his lips are on somebody else's. The shit is real, okay? You're going to feel it. You're going to feel it. Oh, God. You're going to feel it. And you need to know that your Father is okay with you feeling it. That's the first step. The first step is to The first step actually is to see that there's a problem. The second step is to receive his love and his acceptance in where you're at. And let him love you back to life. And that's what I'm doing. I'm letting him love me where I'm at. I think in the denial, I wrote down actually right here, the rejection is there, but I can't get rid of it. I can't fight the feelings of how he doesn't want me anymore. Anybody ever feel that way? You love somebody, but they went on with their life, and you can't seem to move on. Whether he's in denial of how he feels about me or not, the facts are there. The guy moved on. The father has shown me underneath the surface of what's really going on, of that he does love me, but he's dealing with that his pain of what I put him through. And even though that I've said I'm sorry and I've begged him to look past my faults and love me the way Father loves me, he cannot. And that is his own journey with the Father right now. But the Father's reassured me that yes, there is love there. There is love there. It's kind of like, okay, with this, I'm a visual person. So if you're visual, then maybe you'll be able to relate. But basically, this is obviously it's orange, and this is our surface level. And my Father has shown me the underneath, the yellow, the green, and the blue. But all that he can see is the orange. Because I know the reason why he has shown me the other colors, the colors of his heart, his real heart, because my ass would have already left him. That's why he had to show me. Because in my mind, I'm thinking there is no freaking way I'm going to be with somebody who doesn't want me. I cannot emphasize that enough. My ass would have walked by now. I know what you're saying. Girl, get your ass out of there. He don't want you. But friends, it's hard to walk away when the Father has given you promises that your marriage is going to be restored and there is a future. It's hard to walk away. And I cannot walk away from this. So I'm going to not fight him, but fight in the way of receiving the abundance of grace, and continue to make these videos. And my Father is going to work it for me. He's the one that's going to fight for me. If anything, my ass is going to be sitting down and let him fight for me, because I can't. I've done my best to try to convince him, and it literally goes in one ear, it comes out the other. There's no fighting this by the mouth. This is something that the Father has to reveal to him, and I can't do anything about it. So, I've even had people tell him, oh, she's talking about you. And he's told me numerous of times, like, you need to stop talking about me. I'm like, you have no idea. I'm not talking about you out of spite. This is where my shit lies. My testimony is this. I'm literally telling the people that there's no good in me also. It would be different if I'm coming out and saying, I don't know why I'm saying all this shit. It'd be different if I'm saying, oh, he's this, he's that, and I'm a perfect little queen. No, friends, what am I doing? I'm telling you that my shit smells too, okay? For all you critics that are going to tell him that I am talking about him. Get a life, dude. Just freaking get a life and get off my channel. Anyways, friends, rejection is no joke. It's no joke. You're literally trying to get people to tell you your identity. And me and my sister were talking about it this morning. You know, she has dreams of things that were done to her in the past, and it's surfacing up, and she remembers how our dad was, and she knows that it's time to come face to face with it. So it is very real. There are numerous of people dealing with rejection, numerous of people that are dealing with rejection, and there are numerous of ways of how people deal with it. But I think the message for every single one of them, if they receive this, is that one, like I said, is to realize that there is a problem there. Denial will not bring healing to you. And sometimes we're in denial because we're not even, I don't even know if you want to call it denial in that way of, because you don't even know that it's there. The way that I started seeing that it was there was when I started seeing that little freaking puppy dog syndrome, that I call, pursuing him and pursuing him and pursuing him. And, so that way he wouldn't leave me, and going to the extent of actually being with him, even though he was with somebody else. Like, just, yeah, there was a problem there. Okay. There's a problem there for sure. And no one's perfect, friends. Oh God, no one's perfect. If you're going to judge him, then go to judge me too, because neither one of us are perfect. There's not one person that is doing it all together. Okay. Not one of us. We all need a savior, because all of us have crap. Just not every one of us wants to admit it, because we're too busy trying to look good on camera. Well, I guess I don't want to look good on camera. I guess my reputation, I really don't give a shit about my reputation. If Father's going to turn this message and make it into something that's going to bring him glory, then go ahead, Father. Do what you got to do, and give yourself the glory, because you know what? You're so good, and you put up with my shit all the time, and you love me where I'm at. My Father wants to give a message out to everyone who's rejected, that they are loved, and that he wants to let you know that you're very much loved. And if you are willing, he can remove it from you as much. And this is how I am letting him know I'm willing, even if it costs me my reputation. My identity is in you, Father. And you're the only one that can take it from me. I can't do it. I don't want to continue. I don't want to overeat. I want to overshop. I want it out. Want it out, because I know that when I get back with my husband, and I will, because that's my Father's promise, him and our marriage is going to be such a freaking powerful message to the world, that not only did he do the impossible, but he also loved us where we were at. And we got through it by receiving the abundance of grace and his righteousness. And it's going to make us reign over it. No longer will rejection reign over me, but I will reign over it. Tomorrow, I think my next message is going to be the woman of the well, because there's so much richness in it. So yeah, friends. Yeah, today was definitely hard. It was definitely hard. I've been crying all day, and I didn't want to deal with it. I was like, no way, I'm not going online, and I'm not going to talk about this. And then I just realized, like, Father just showing me over and over again, the more that you suppress it, the more I can't heal it. It's okay to be you. Remember when you get online, remember when you face that camera, that you're not going for the approval of man. You're already approved by me, and I love you, and I'm right there with you. So right here, right now, my daddy God is right here with me, and he's going to take care of me. and he's going to take care of my marriage. I don't know when, I don't know how, but I do know that it's going to be okay. It's going to be okay. So, so yeah, I think I cried my little heart out enough. It's 55 minutes in. I'll probably do some more tomorrow. And if you like this message, give it a thumbs up. If it was too emotional, I'm sorry, my apologies. But this shit's real. Rejection is real, and you're not alone. You're not alone. Okay, I think that's it for now. I love you, friends. Thank you for putting up with me again. And don't forget to hit the subscribe button if you haven't. It sounds kind of weird after emotional moment like that. All right, so I will see you tomorrow. Bye.